afterwards, when it's all said and done, baby, go get me a towel. He gets me a towel. Just picture this, I like got the towel and then I'm like tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe to the bathroom. It's just a mess, y'all. Girl, it has been too long. And in a little bit, we will jump in with some products from the brand Deck of Scarlet. Biggest of thank yous for sponsoring today's video. They are vegan and cruelty free and I'm excited. We're just gonna jump in and chit chat, do our makeup together. I just got out of the shower, so my hair is still damp and I'm actually just letting it air dry with no product. We are supposed to have a snow day tomorrow. So I'm just gonna let my hair breathe tomorrow and enjoy the snow. Let's go ahead and dive into our Q&A. Let's do it. Girl, these questions are juicy. We're gonna start off PG and work our way up. And I'm just gonna use some moisturizer real quick. This one's from Pharmacy and it's awesome. Okay, a question that I'm seeing a lot has to do with friendships and how on earth to make friendships in 2021. I actually asked you guys about this really recently on my Instagram stories. You know, for me personally, obviously I work from home and I know a lot of you guys are working from home now too, so you're not gonna be making friends with your coworkers. It's not like we're all going out to sporting events and doing things right now, obviously, so you're not gonna meet someone just out in the real world. I don't know, I just don't know how people make friends right now. And I'm gonna use Rare Beauty Foundation in the shade 200C. What I did learn from you guys, that a lot of you are feeling the same way. A lot of you are feeling like you don't have 10,000 friends like everyone else does. And I think what I'm learning as we get older, you know, it's tough. There's a million reasons that you lose friends, but as you get older, I feel like you kind of get down to your core knit group of friends, and it's not like you just have 50 casual friends, you more so have like 5 best friends. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't feel like weird if you don't have a million friends. I don't have a million friends either. From what I saw from you guys, the best way to meet people is to push yourself and get out of your comfort zone. So for me, like I could definitely meet some new friends at my workout place. I don't know, like what do I go up to them and say, like, hey girl, cute aloe, cute Lululemons. Like, I don't know how people make friends. I feel like whatever you're into is a great way to meet people, and then once you get there, you just have to like push yourself. So if you're Jewish, you're most likely gonna find some great girlfriends at the synagogue. If you're Christian, you're gonna find some great friends at your church. If you're into kickball, join a kickball league. You know, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this in the comments down below. I know that I'm not alone. I know that many of you are feeling this way. So if we could all share some tips and tricks to meeting new people, you know, at different stages of life, I think that would be very kind. Next, I'm seeing a lot of political questions. You guys are asking, all love here, just curious if there was a reason you don't share your political views on your page. So I do share, you know, things that I support and don't support. I made it very clear that I supported the Black Lives Matter movement. And I think I've made it pretty clear I just don't support like violence on either side in general. My parents raised me very much so like, you don't talk about politics. Politics causes fights. It's just not something that you talk about. I don't know, my parents just like ingrained that in me so much that you just like don't talk about it. So while I have never publicly stated I align as a Republican or I align as a Democrat, I very much so always stand up and speak out when I see injustices and when I don't think things are right. And just to be quite straightforward, I don't feel a lot of the times comfortable discussing certain topics because I don't feel as though maybe I'm educated enough on it to have that discussion with someone. I think that there's a lot of fear in discussing politics. I don't know, people just get so nasty with it, and I don't know, I just always feel like there's certain things I'm like, oh, I definitely align with this party on this, and oh, I definitely align with this party on this. I would personally love for there to be more middle of the line candidates because I'm just not really very extreme in either direction. I always encourage on my platforms to vote, to get out and vote, how important it is to vote, but I don't really have interest in telling you how to vote. I want for you to make your own decisions. And by the way, this is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I really enjoy this concealer. It just adds so much brightness under your eyes, and it's just lovely. Okay, next, literally everyone is asking when we're gonna have babies. No surprise. Unless the good Lord wants us to have a baby tomorrow, we're good for a little bit. We just kind of want to enjoy it just being the two of us. Enjoy it just being us. This is obviously my first time ever living with a man, and just getting to know him on this level is so different than anything I've ever experienced, and I just want to be in this moment now and get our marriage like on a bedrock of strength before we bring a baby in. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys before, but I always said that I never wanted to have my own biological children. Then I met Daniel. I still really only wanted to adopt, but he wanted his own biological children as well. And so because I love him so very much, I want to have his children. He wants me to have what I want as well, so we want to adopt too. Whatever God wants, we'll do. But the plan is to give at least 2 years of just no baby talk, and just on a more vulnerable note with the babies. You know, my mom has had multiple miscarriages and had a really hard time staying pregnant. The topic of pregnancy can just be such a sensitive topic for people. It's really not for me. It's not sensitive. I just say, nope, not having kids anytime soon whenever like anyone asks. I don't know if I'll be able to have my own kids, and if I can't, we will adopt, and if we can, we would love to do both. So it's all in God's hands. Now we're going to bake just under the eyes and like in the T-zone area. I'm using Derma Blends powder. I really like this one. The Laura Mercier translucent setting powder is my favorite. I mean, I feel like that's everyone's favorite setting powder. It's so gosh darn expensive, but it does last a long time, but it's amazing. Next, we're jumping in with bronzer and blush, baby boo. And I have to say, bronzer and blush are my 2 favorite products. If I could pick any 2 products on a desert island, it would be bronzer and blush, because they just bring the face to life. You know what I'm saying? So today we're gonna be using Deck of Scarlet's Mistake Proof Bronzer. And it's kind of like airbrushy type makeup, which I love because it's just so flawless looking and like easy to blend in. It's mistake proof. This one is in the color Caramel. So how I personally like to apply this product is by spraying it directly onto a beauty sponge as opposed to my face directly. I find that you get a more airbrushed and just like flawless look from spraying it onto the sponge first. It's literally like airbrush makeup. It's amazing. Okay, so clearly I used a little bit too much, but the perfect thing about this, like I said, is that it is mistake proof and that it blends and melts into the skin so incredibly beautifully. So if you use too much, you can always bring it down, and if you use too little, you can very easily add more. Where my big forehead sisters at? We gotta cut it in half, ladies. No, just kidding, your big forehead's beautiful. Now we've got the same exact thing here with our blush from Deck of Scarlet, and this is in the color Savage. It's gorgeous. And for me personally, I like to do a couple of layers of the blush in order to build it to the level that I like. It's kind of like a peachy pinky neutral blush, which is really pretty and a little bit different for me. The next question, of course, girl, tell me about your exercise in life. For those of you who don't know, Google will not allow me to monetize this video if I use the SEX word, so we're gonna call it exercising today. Let me just kind of back up a little bit altogether. For me, it's just gotten better and better. And I'm not talking about just exercising, just like us and understanding each other on a day-to-day basis. For me, the first month was the most challenging. There was a lot of learning together in terms of, you know, finances. Are we gonna merge our finances? You know, we actually did decide to merge bank accounts. We actually haven't done that yet, but we are going to merge bank accounts. We want for all of our money to be our money. That's just how we personally want to do it. Let's say he wants to buy a Rolex. Like, does he have to discuss it with me first? If I want to go out and buy a Chanel purse, I don't own a Chanel purse, but if I did want to go purchase one, would that be something we would discuss first? Do we have to ask permission? There's just so much to learn, and I think that marriage counseling was definitely very, very helpful in that. We kind of had an idea of how all of that would run prior to marriage, but when you're actually in it, it is a little bit different. Now for what all of you nosy people are asking about, exercising. So as I have mentioned, exercising just gets better with time. It really does, honey, because you learn each other. You know, you learn what each other likes. You learn what each other doesn't like. You learn just everything. It's so much learning, and I feel like communicating is key. And it's nice because I feel comfortable to communicate and be like, oh no, nope, not a fan of that. Or like, oh, yep, that's the spot. You know, like I feel comfortable saying those things now, but I think that that really is just the key to a healthy and happy exercising relationship, just communicating with each other, you know? I'm getting in here kind of close to do these brows, y'all. They need to be threaded, you know, they are what they are, and we're just gonna love them and do what we gotta do. The product I'm using, by the way, is Benefits Precisely My Brow in the shade number 3. Okay, how's she looking? She's a little thick, but once we get the rest of the face on, she gonna be looking good. I'm seeing so many questions asking, have you ever thought about a breast reduction? No, I honestly have not. I mean, there's some days where, quite frankly, like my back hurts and I'm like, I just want no boobs. But I'm also just a little bit hesitant to ever do surgery that isn't necessary, I guess. I think that if my back pain were ever to get to a point where it was like, you know, not good for my health, then I would absolutely consider it. But the size of my breasts currently, which are either a 34 triple D or a 32G, sister sizes, it's not impacting my day-to-day life negatively enough to consider getting surgery for me personally. One of my friends had like a size D on one side and then a size B on the other, and she had them become like the same size. And then I also have a friend who was like a 36G, and she got a reduction and said it was the best thing that ever happened to her. So I really think that with reductions, it's just such a personal decision. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this other brow off camera. Okay, now just girl to girl chit chat. I wanna just share some like tips that I wish people would have shared with me. Number one, first and foremost, actually some people did tell me this. I think my aunt told me this. I'm really not sure why. I don't know the science. Feel free to look it up. But I just know for a fact that you always want to pee after exercising to ensure that you don't get a yeast infection. You're welcome. Next thing I feel as though I really was not prepared for, and mom, for the love of everything, please stop watching, I beg of thee, is just how messy things are. I don't feel as though people inform me of that. Like friends, nobody. Like, help a girl out. Why did no one tell me this? I'm trying to figure out how to cover this topic without being like nasty or sharing more than I should. But afterwards, when it's all said and done, baby go get me a towel. He gets me a towel. Just picture this, I like got the towel and then I'm like tiptoe to the bathroom. It's just a mess, y'all. It really is. And I don't know why I wasn't informed of this. If y'all have any cleanup tips for exercising, please share below. Help a girl out. And by the way, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is my favorite palette. I did get the Mario Makeup by Mario palette, and it's gorgeous, I have to say, but it is not nearly as buttery as this. I probably like these colors a little more for just like an everyday look, but the butteriness of this is like next level. So I just don't find myself reaching for this anymore, and I low-key want to return it, but then I'm like, that's so shady. Like, you used it, you can't return it. Like, I don't want to be that person, but I wish I could return it. So I'm just putting this color a little bit in my crease, and then I'm going to blend it out, and we've got lashes and lips left. I'm gonna apply lashes today. I have no idea why I'm gonna do that because I really don't know how to apply lashes. I'm going to get drinks tonight with my cousin. I feel like it would just be nice to get dressed up for the first time in forever. So these are really nice because they're very like light and wispy. They start on the inside like shorter and then they get longer to the edge, which is exactly how I like my lashes to be. We're gonna kind of figure this out together. We have a clear lash adhesive pen. This just makes sense, honestly. Like, where has this been my whole life? Not that I like ever try to apply lashes, but when I do, if the glue was in like a liner, I feel like I could do that just so much better. This is very questionable, my friend. Very questionable indeed. Okay, I literally can't even tell if anything came out. There was something there because it is sticking. This is crazy though. Hot dog in the morning. I'm just gonna use a little bit of my L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara to kind of like blend two together. My real lashes, that is, with fake ones. Okay, I have to say, with the lashes, I feel weird. I feel like a different person, but I think it'll be fun for the night. So, for lips, darling, first let's do a little bit of like a lip liner situation, and then we're gonna go in with a very special lip product that I love. This is a lip crayon actually, but I'm using it as a lip liner because I love the color. The brand is by Beauty and the color is Calvados. To conclude, we're gonna be using the Deck of Scarlet Solid Lip Oil. It's a 3-in-1. So you get the color of a lipstick, the moisture of an oil, and the shine of a gloss, which I just love. They come in 13 gorgeous shades. I'm having a really hard time deciding which shade to use today, honestly. Actually, I'm gonna use mostly Cocoa Spice, but then a tiny bit of Buff Rose in the center, because I love mixing lipsticks. It's my favorite. Oh my gosh, I can't. And it goes on like butter, baby, like butter. These are no joke pigmented. Little bit of rose in the center, it's more of a pinky hue. That is a wrap on today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's makeup look. Biggest of thank yous once again to Deck of Scarlet for sponsoring today's video. There is a link in the description box down below where you can get 20% off of your first purchase of Deck of Scarlet, so be sure to check that out. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to do another girl talk video and I can pull some questions from there. So just always know that this is a safe place where you can ask literally any questions you want. All right, I love you guys. Bye.